all generations.
Come with joy into the presence of the Lord.
Alleluia. 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 I am the light of the world, says the Lord. Whoever follows me will have the light of life. Alleluia. Alleluia. Alleluia.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke. The scribes and Pharisees said to Jesus, "The disciples of John the Baptist fast often and offer prayers, and the disciples of the Pharisees do the same. But yours eat and drink." Jesus answered them, "Can you make the wedding guests fast while the bridegroom is with them? But the days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, then they will fast in those days." He also told them a parable. No one tears a piece from a new cloth to patch an old one. Otherwise, he will tear the new, and the piece from it will not match the old cloak. Likewise, no one pours new wine into old wineskins. Otherwise, the new wine will burst the skins, and it will be spilled, and the skins will be ruined. Rather, new wine must be poured into fresh wineskins. And no one who has been drinking old wine desires new, for he says, the old is good. The Gospel of the Lord. So let's talk about wineskins. I mean, I don't know anything about wineskins, to be honest. It's all presumption on my part, but I sort of vaguely understand the metaphor, so I'm going to stick with that. And what the Lord is trying to say to us is that this gospel, the good news that Jesus has, is something new. In the sense of, if you consider what's the oldest thing in the world? I think it was G.K. Chesterton who said, what's the oldest thing in the world? Sin. And I think it was one of his, whatever I read a long time ago. The other day we went bowling, and they said, when was the last time you went bowling? And I was just like, well, it was just 30 years ago. I had this memory of me bowling, and I realized now it's 30 years old or so. So anyway, the oldest thing, so I can't tell you where in G.K. Chesterton the quote comes from, but he was like, the oldest thing in the world, because it's kind of old and stale. He says, but the gospel and Christianity is always new. It's always sort of revitalizing itself. And if you live an authentic Christian life, you know that to be true. That it's always sort of transforming you. The heart of the Christian is always being revitalized and being made young again. It's a fascinating process. It's not what you can see for people who are not actually living authentic Christianity. They're living some experience that they decided was Christianity, and they just kind of keep repeating that year after year after year after year. But that's day-old bread, as they say. The Lord is saying to us, we say to the Lord, he taught us the prayer. He said, give us this day our daily bread, so that we would have fresh bread every day, right? The Lord's word is renewed in us every day. And many of us are tempted to live by the old bread because we don't want to be renewed, restored by the gospel, by the good news. So we just want that old bread. Oh, this worked for me, back when or whatever. Okay, but you're different. Your situation is different. Your life is different. What is the Lord saying to you today? How are you being renewed and restored? So if we take that, we take sort of all of those ideas, and we realize that the the old wineskins will not do if we're going to infuse them with this new wine or this new daily bread, to sort of mix those metaphors that I'm talking about. If we want to always be renewed by the Lord, then we have to say, Lord, give us the new wineskins, that can withstand this. Must be fermentation in its beginning is much more vigorous than it is later on. When things kind of mellow, when you get to be 60. But anyway, I wouldn't even say that. I think, the Lord is still constantly pushing me. And even at 60 or 61, and I'm about to die soon, he's still pushing, I understand that I may not die till I'm 80, but that's soon. I may get one more bowling game in before I pass. But anyway, but we have to be looking at what is the Lord going to do for us today? What is this fresh impulse of the Spirit for us today? It's not going to contradict anything the church has taught, but what is the fresh application of the Word of God for us today? That's why we're so eager to come and hear the Word of God, right? Because we know it's alive and then alive in us. That's why we're so anxious to come and participate in the sacrifice and then receive of the Lord's body and blood. Because it renews, it restores, it refreshes us each day. May our commitment to the Lord be always renewed each day.